Alright guys, so I know, for instance, if you have not taken a course yet, or if you are just needing a refresher, you need to know the basics starting out before you can actually get into it. So this is going to be some of the very first information that you should understand before actually diving in to do a lash extension set. The basic things that you will need to know is what sizes of extensions you should use for each type of set that you do. For example, classic and volume. You need to learn classic and volume before you really can do anything other than that. So your classics is what you want to start out with. It will help you actually learn how to place the lash a lot easier if instead of starting out with a volume set. So the first thing you need to know is the sizes. Your sizes are going to start out, you can actually get them thicker than a 0.20, but your natural lash is going to have to be super strong and long to hold a 0.20, because that is going to be a very heavy lash extension. So you don't really use a whole lot of 0.20s. I don't personally use 0.20 because I feel like it is very heavy and it weighs down their natural lashes, which causes damage to the natural lash and poor retention. So if you need a thicker lash, you want to go with a 0.18, but I prefer to go with a 0.15 or a 0.12. These are my go-tos when it comes to classics, a 0.15 and a 0.12. So a 0.15 is going to be larger and thicker around than a 0.12, and then it goes down from there. So you know, the larger the number, the larger the lash extension, and it goes down in size. So after the 0.12, it goes down to a 0.10, 0.07, 0.05, and 0.03, which those will be the sizes that you will use for volume. So the 0.20 to 0.12 you will actually use for the ratio of one eyelash extension to one natural lash. You will never ever glue more than one classic lash to a natural lash. It's always one lash extension. That's what defines a classic set. Now a volume is where you will fan out 2+ lash extensions on one natural lash. So example like 2D, 3D, 4D, and on. That means that you will have, if it is a 2D, you will have 2 of the 0.10s, 0.07, 0.05, and 0.03. And so on. 3D means you will have 3 lash extensions on each individual natural lash. Now, a 0.03 is what you will make your mega volume fans with. And I personally do 10D plus is my mega fans. And you don't want to make mega fans with like a 0.05 or a 0.03 because then they're going to be too heavy. I will add a chart at the end that will also explain all this. That way you will have something to look back on, or if you want to take notes and write this information down, you can. But these are your basic numbers, and then we are going to move on to the curls. Alright, so for the curls, the basic curls that you will use will be from a C to a DD. There are other curls that I will go into details about later on in a separate video, but just starting out, your most used curls will be these 4. And actually when I first started, I only used C and D starting out. And once I mastered those, then I went on to different curls. But just so you'll know what type of curl and what it means, when you buy a box of lash extensions, you're going to find the numbers that we just went over. So if you're doing a classic set, you're you're going to have like a .15 C curl, and it's going to give you the length, so like 8 to 15. So if you buy a box that's .15, you know that is classic lashes and a C curl. And then the next number will be the lengths, and we will go over that next. But so that you will know what type of curl you are buying, a C curl is going to be the least amount of curl. So it's going to be more natural and more out instead of up. It's going to have less curl. A CC is going to be just in between. It's going to give it a little more curl, but not a whole lot of curl. And then a D is going to be more curled, and a DD is going to be very curled. I do not use a whole lot of DD. I don't think I've ever used a DD because it is like super curled. It's almost like an O. A D curl is also very curly, so if you have someone with very straight lashes, a D curl is probably not going to be the best for them. Just because it won't have a whole lot of base here for the natural lash. If this is the natural lash and it's straight, there's not going to be a whole lot of base because of how curled it is. But you do have some people that just prefer a more curl, so you want to go with either a CC curl or a D curl. And then people who want more of a natural, and you're going to go with a C curl. Now, if someone comes in and they have very curly lashes, you're going to want to go with a D curl because it's going to look better and it's going to lift those eyelashes up. So it's according to what kind of look you are going for, but that way now you know what each curl means and what type of curl it's going to be. So just remember, a C is the least and a DD is the most curled. So the next thing we're going to go over is the lengths. So when you think of the lengths of your lash extensions, they are going to be measured in millimeters. So these are what I draw. These are drawn lashes extensions, just like if they were maybe laid out on your tile. So if your tile is laid out for 8 millimeters to 15, you will see that it goes up 1 millimeter at a time. So when you start to do an eyelash set and you measure their eyelashes, which you can actually, I didn't know this for a long time, but on a lot of the tweezers, if you will look on one side of it, it'll actually have like a little ruler that you can measure your client's eyelashes to see about where they stand, because you do not want to go any longer than 3 millimeters over their natural eyelash length. So let's say that you have your client come in and her eyelashes are around 7 millimeters. That means that your eyelash extensions, you don't want to go over like a 10 millimeter. It's going to be your longest length that will keep it a natural, healthy lash, because if you put too heavy on there or too long, they for sometimes will actually sag, but it will also cause poor retention and damage to their natural eyelash. So you want to make sure that you stay in that range of 3 millimeters. And when you go to actually purchase eyelashes and you want to know what you're buying, if you see a mixed box of 8 millimeters to 15 millimeters, you know that you're going to have all of the lengths between 8 millimeter and 15 millimeters. So you will have usually 1 or 2 of 7 and 8, or you know, the shorter lengths, and then you will have 2 or 3 of each of the other lengths. That way you can kind of get the feel of what you're doing, what lashes you like, and then the single boxes will have all 20 rolls, or however many rolls that box is, will have all of the strips will be that length. So for example, 12 millimeters. So you know that whole entire box that you buy will be 12 millimeters in length. If you have any questions or thoughts, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you will be notified when I make new videos.